All right, we are live. What's up, folks? How are we doing? Let me know if you can hear me okay. I'm going to try to have no tech fuck-ups. Can't guarantee anything, obviously. For example, my microphone's not working. There we go. Cool. Good morning, Michael, Leslie, everybody. Let me just go on Insta real quick and add the link there. As you're coming in, just let me know where you're tuning in from. How do I do this? Create. There we go. Live. Got some big news. Big news to get into, which we will. Promise. There's actually a bunch of announcements, a bunch of cool announcements, which is good. All right. Here we go. I want to talk about, obviously, Atlas and some observations from around the community, which has been really cool, and dive into the announcements for sure. Go live with streaming software. All right. Boom. I think we're live there. Yeah. Are we live? Let me know if you're watching on Instagram. If we're live there. Can't tell. As we get warmed up. Pretty much as I fumble my way through all the tech. Go live. Yes. Copy. Tropical Bill. Not me. Not today. Hearing you fine. Thank you. We got South Carolina. We got Arizona. We got Florida. Warmer places, which is nice. It's oh, we are live on. Okay. Yeah, warmer places, that's for sure. I don't know how I can see the live on Instagram, but either way, if you're on YouTube, appreciate it. Not live on Insta yet. Okay. You are live. Why is it doing that? Edit. Stream key. Save changes. Go live. Yeah. Give me a second, folks. I thought I just saw it. If you have any questions or any guesses about what you think the big announcement is going to go, let me know. There were some interesting announcements or interesting guesses. Okay, here we go. All right. Go live. All right. I think we're good. Yep. There we go. Sweet. What's up, everyone? Instagram. Let me know where you're coming in from. I have to mute that. Okay. Sweet. All right. So it's Friday, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Let me know how Atlas was for you if you took it on. I was down in Orlando area, linked up with the Orlando area Ruck crew, West Orange Ruck Club, Orlando Ruck Club. That was really cool. We did that pretty much right when it came out. So it was about 2 weeks ago now, but that was really fun. It was awesome to just connect with people in person. That's something that we're well aware of, a limitation of an online league. However, it's part of the league. It's not the full league, right? So that's why we're having We're having a finals, which is where we're coming in person and really kind of creating an environment and an experience for people to have that's more than just who wins the overall Ruck Race League season, right? That's cool for sure. We're starting something new. We're having like a new sport, which is obviously really cool. We feel pretty strong about this being a sport. We feel strongly about the sport component of rucking that has not really been explored yet. And that's what we're doing. And that's what we appreciate you all kind of being part of. Maybe we can call it an experiment. But either way, bringing people together. Finals. We'll be talking about finals. We have a date secured. We have a site secured that we are very, very excited about. So I will talk about that, but I'm going to leave you. I'm going to build up the dopamine a little bit, because we don't have enough of that flowing through our brain in our day-to-day. So I will talk about finals, but not yet. I want to do an Atlas check-in and address some questions that I've been getting in messages as well as comments and whatnot. So let's do a little Atlas check-in. Because people are asking about the leaderboard, and we figured out how to kind of sort the leaderboard. So I'll go on that. Leslie did first attempt, learned a lot, hitting rim to rim Tuesday. So I'll be doing a second attempt. Nice. Awesome. Chris Hayes, Atlas was tough. Change up my load and we'll tackle it again today. Yeah, man. I mean, I think that's the thing, having a month to do something. That's why we're giving for all of the ruck races, especially Atlas, which I think it shows the importance of this point, of month to do it. Now, hopefully people don't delay until, the last week to do it, right? So that's part of the learning process. And with Atlas, there's a bit of a strategy as far as equipment. So what's really cool is we're seeing a bunch of different equipment setups. When we were down in Orlando, we had a bunch of gear. There was vests, there was sandbags over the shoulders, there was how much do you put in the bag itself. There's a bit of a gamesmanship with this. It's not to say you're making it easier per se. I don't know. I have not yet tried. That's not true. In preseason, I had a vest on, a heavy rock, and a sandbag, I think. But you got to kind of figure it out. So you have the whole month. And during that month, we recommend having some fun with it. Your first attempt, like go into it maybe with the mindset of your first attempt is not your final attempt. And I think there's a bit of experiential wisdom with that, specific to this ruck race, that I'd like to address and talk about. But I want to kind of do a community check-in here first. So current leaders, let me go here. Okay. Current leaders on the women's side, Linda Cooper with 163 pounds. Freaking cool. Let me see here. Boom. Let's look at the leaderboard. Add to stage. All right. 163 pounds on the women's side. So if you're in strongest, you have to go to the web version. So compete.strongest.com. You log in and you'll obviously, be greeted by this thing, right? This is sort of like the homepage. Click here, leaderboards. When you click leaderboards, defaults women first, and you'll see there it's just right now like overall, right? So Grace is in the overall lead with 3 points. So she got 1 point for obviously Kronos being the monthly winner. And then she's getting 2 points for Atlas currently. Just literally click Atlas and it'll sort it by placing. So Linda here, 162.9. Round that up. You get credit for that, right? We're using rounding rules. Do me a favor, and if you're listening to this and you see comments from people, round to the nearest pound. Round to the nearest pound. The reason being, we have a tiebreaker, right? So here we have 25.45. That's going to be what we are going with. Yes, I understand that if somebody did 162.95, you could make the argument for, well, they did more. Let's just say Jane Smith did 162.95 and her tiebreak time was 26:45. Just say it took a full extra minute for that, whatever, of a pound. Okay. The flaw in the decimals, the tenths and the hundredths of a pound, is that scale, I guarantee you, whatever scale you use, it is not calibrated to the precision of a hundredth of a pound. All right. So, I see a bunch of different chirps and comments and stuff like that. Look, check it out. We're doing this to the best degree we can with the understanding that there is an inherent limitation to the precision and accuracy of our instruments. Okay. And that's why we're saying, look, we're pretty confident that the whole number pound will be good. And we cut off the rest. All right. So round to the nearest whole number, regular rounding rules apply. 0.5 and up, you get to the next one, 0.49 and down. You don't get. So tie break time, pretty cool there. We got Grace coming in 157. Christy Hyams from over in the UK, 154.83. So again, round up or down, folks. I'll have to go in there and manually do it if you don't. So save me the work, if you don't mind. On the men's side, Michael Pinkney from Canada, 271 pounds. Frickin' gnarly. What's amazing, if you haven't seen, let me see here. If you haven't seen, let me see how I bring him up. Hold on. Stop sharing. Let me see. If you haven't seen this, you're going to want to see it. Yeah. Okay, so here's Michael Pinkney, 2'4". Oh, wait, I have to add it to the stage. There's no producer in here, so this is just me. So I apologize if it's a little herky-jerky. All right. Can you see that? Yeah. Check it out. Michael Pinkney, 2'4". Freaking shout out to you, bro. All right. This is the effort. You might look at that and be like, 271 pounds. How's that happening? All right. Let's go to it. First of all, that right there, I'm just going to say this. To be able to do this right here, yes, his hands are on his knees, all right? This is an authorized position of support. There's no external, sort of stabilizer or stabilization. Just to actually hold this position in itself requires a degree of strength most don't have for that load, right? So this is well over his body weight. So right there, that's like legit. Here's him walking it. Now, again, you could look at that and be like, oh my God, he's hunched forward. Yeah, well, there's fucking 271 pounds in that thing. Some of it's a function of physics. So if you were to stand straight up, the bag is heavier than he. This is insane. Yeah, that sucked. This is insane. Look at that. 271 pounds in there. It's a 110 liter canoe bag, by the way, which we all like this community loves talking about gear. I love gear. I love bags. I love whatever. I love all of it. 110 liter. Most people are rucking with what, a 40 liter, maybe a 40. I think a GR2 is like 36. Most like the Rucker might be 20, 25. Somebody out in the comments can correct me if I'm wrong. But like, okay, so we'll just say a 30 liter. Okay. A 30 liter bag is good capacity. Okay. 110. 3.5 times as much, almost 4 30-liter bags in there. So he had stuffed in there just a bunch of sandbags. And what I love about this is, man, the last thing, Nora told me how proud she was of me. That alone got me through quarter mile. You know, Katie met up with me at 0.4 miles ago. My ladies told stories, sang, filled me with hope. I mean, fuck yeah, dude. That is why we do this shit. That is why we do this. So, like, wow, it's kind of incredible. Now, word on the street is he's not done. Word on the street is he might have a little bit more in him. Which, look, if you're staying safe, and we've been messaging back and forth. Great dude, Michael. Shout out to you, dude. Awesome. Stay safe. If you're staying safe, if you have the requisite strength and you're good, you recover well. Everybody that does a hard effort, or everybody, it's like, oh my God. It's like, hey, how are you recovering from it? There's a bunch of folks who have said, like, surprisingly, I'm feeling pretty good. Right on. Right on. You have to ask yourself, how much is it worth it to you? Really? Is it worth it? For me, for example, coming from my background, my back is kind of fucked. Is it worth it for me to lose quality of life to climb 1-2 points on the leaderboard? No, it's not. Is it worth it to me to have an experience where I was really challenged, where I was like full of doubt, where I was genuinely unsure if I could do this or not, and see how I go? Okay, that experience is worth it. What load can we get that experience with, or what load can we support that? So again, like, stay safe, challenge yourself, have a good time doing it, and that's it, right? Like, that's kind of that's the magic recipe for ours. So yeah, kind of insane. What else do we got? Yeah, 271. That was gnarly. Linda Cooper. Let's get her on here. Oops, not invite guest. Just so y'all can see. I think it's cool to kind of just like highlight the folks. So Linda Cooper, add to stage. Here we go. Linda Badass Sportin' Warrior Dog. Hell yeah. Bunch of experience in here. I don't think this was her first. No, this is 110. This was 110. Getting after it, doing awesome. Obviously, added another 53 pounds. Added another, what is that? Poot and a half for the obscure measurement purposes. But like, you can see, like, Linda, her experience is that of being, oh wait, this is really cool. Linda and Kayla. So Kayla was a top 10 performer in Chronos. Here they are linking up. Awesome. That's cool. So yeah, so Linda getting after it, just doing a really cool job. Boom. Look at this. So had body weight is the mission. Carry the load, become the weights. Fuck yeah, that's good stuff. So like, awesome. 162 load. Actually, Linda, you got to update your score. It's 163 because it's 0.9. So we'll give it to you. But like, good stuff there. So that's a little bit of our community spotlight. If you've taken on Atlas, let me know what your weight was, what you would, or what you're shooting for. Drop that in the comments there. Let's hear some. No, I don't want to say wagers, but let's see some goals. Personally, I did 182 down in Orlando. Full disclosure, I knew I could do that. I don't think I had the experience of like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. I know it was uncomfortable. It was not pleasant by any means, but it was doable. This past weekend, I was Grace and Chemo. They're at the top of the leaderboard for Atlas as well. I think they're both in second or third or something. And Julian Petros. We all got together. They're all just locally here, good people. And I threw on, I don't even honestly remember what it was, 230 maybe, just in a bag, just in the ruck I use in military. And for where I was on that day, having worked out earlier, like that wasn't happening. That it was exceeding the risk profile for what makes sense for me. But like, here's what's cool about it. I did a 400 meter at that load, knowing like, ooh, this is potentially dangerous. But a 400 is okay. I can maintain that. And did a 400 and like called it. Went in, dropped the ruck, loaded up again with like 215 using like a ruck or like a go ruck and a sandbag. And I was like, this just isn't happening today. Did another 400. Did I quit? Yeah, sure, I quit. I chose not to continue. I did not continue with the mile. And I'm like glad that I had that experience. It's like, all right, cool. This is where it's at. This was learning. And it gives me this chance to check myself, to, get clarity on my priorities, all of that stuff. So, yeah, it's just really important. Here we go. Goal is just north of 200 today. Awesome, Chris. Yeah, awesome. Have a plan, prepare to adjust your plan, and have a good time getting after it. What else do we got? Let me check some comments over here. What do we got? Did I miss the big announcement yet? Not yet. It's coming. It's coming. We're going to be talking about finals. Christy H from the UK. Respect to Linda and Grace for those weights. Yeah, totally. DT, excited to do this one. Going for 100. If I can get in the old ruck. Yes. Denise Thomas, loads of experience in the fitness space, going for 100. Jen Green going for 100. Yeah. Look, I mean, 100 pounds, like carrying 100 pounds is legit. It's so funny how I'm just going to go on a little bit of a rant for a second. What is this, Leslie? Away 119, 50 years old, over 100 pounds. Awesome. Beautiful. Love it. I appreciate too, like the honesty with like how old people are, what they're weighing or what they're going for, what they couldn't do. Like honesty is the biggest thing. Okay. 100 pounds, going for 100 pounds. I don't care really like who you are. Like 100 pounds, carrying 100 pounds in a fucking backpack is legit. And I can say that coming from a community that loves to beat their chest about how good we are at rucking, at carrying loads. All right. Let me tell you something. Very few people are rucking around with 100 pounds. 70, 75. Yeah, that's going to be a heavier one, 80, 85. Now, does it happen? Of course it happens. But it's not a regular occurrence. And people, specifically within the Special Forces community, sure as shit aren't doing that on a regular basis, and really not by like fun and choosing to do it. And I was thinking about this this week when I put 70 pounds in just a bag, not a special ruck, nothing fancy, nothing like that. Just put 75 or 70 pounds in a backpack and walk the dogs. 70 pounds is considered a heavy ruck. So I just want to keep that in perspective for folks that just because someone did 271 pounds or 163 on the women's side, let's not lose perspective of what you're actually doing and have a little bit of celebration for that. Step into that challenge and have that just have that perspective that like it is incredible. It is absolutely incredible. I think as a moving forward takeaway for Atlas, I hope people can see how shorter distance rucks at significantly heavier loads than what maybe their standard daily would be can be profoundly helpful. Strength, distress tolerance. I put a Instagram video up about it this week. But man, like, don't just settle into doing the same weight all the time. No different than don't just settle into doing the same distance all the time. We need to have that variance. We need to have that stimulus that's constantly challenging ourselves. So if 40 pounds to you, if 30 pounds to you is like no big deal, you could walk forever, it's not challenging enough to get that kind of additional adaptation. All right. We're adaptive. It's one of our greatest strengths. It's also one of our greatest pitfalls, but it's one of our great strengths that we're adaptive. So if Atlas is showing us anything, it's hopefully showing us that like those heavier weights can be done safely and effectively. And that's really the goal of any good fitness program, right? That's a big thing that CrossFit preaches. That's a big thing that anybody in the strength and conditioning world or any coach is going to preach and stand by. It's almost like it's an unmovable grounding principle: safe and effective, not safe or effective, safe and effective. So add heavy rucking to your tool kit and your experiences and just drop the distance down a little bit. We got a little battle going on between DT and Jen Green. Had no idea what was possible. Seeing the loads is incredible. Initially, the goal was body weight. Was able to do it, so I will head up from there. Beautiful. Awesome. Yeah, love it, Darcy. Very, very cool. Very cool. Cool. That's what it's all about. All right. So another thing, another announcement. Let me go here real quick. Boom, boom, boom. We have our, did y'all see the Monopoly get out of jail free card? We had a little fun with that. So get out of jail free card, get in the game. Funny story about this. Whoops. Again, I got to add it to the stage. Here we go. Funny story about this. Kay and I were at a coffee shop talking about this idea. We've gone back and forth, honestly, since last summer or this past summer about, do we keep it open? Do we close it? We don't know. We're building it kind of as we go. But we were having this conversation and we're like, okay, well, what can we do? And we decided that like, oh, okay, like almost like this punishment thing. We were going to call it like an alibi or what was it? Grace period, whatever. Anyway, we're like, oh, it's kind of like get out of jail, like a free chance or get out of jail. We're like, okay, let's Monopoly. What about the Monopoly man or card or whatever? Anyway, that's not exactly the Monopoly man or get out of jail free card thing, but I actually used ChatGPT and like downloaded the photo, put it into ChatGPT and was like, put a ruck on the man. I'm not a big AI guy. That's maybe for a separate conversation, but I was like, okay, let's check it out. And I say I'm not a big AI guy only to say like I'm not like good at like prompting and stuff. Put a ruck on the man, and it came back with this like in like a minute. I was like, oh my God, this is scary. So here's the deal. If you missed submitting a score for Chronos, we got you. Opening up the leaderboard until the end of the month. We wanted to give the community enough time. We understand it's Memorial Day coming up. A lot of folks may be doing Murph, which is obviously a very intense workout. It's very demanding, very arduous workout. So we kind of factored that in. Okay, that's coming up. Atlas, you're going heavy, right? That's going to like probably have a toll. So then to do another 60-minute max effort ruck at 60 minutes, like we want to give you all enough time and space to not only plan it and get after it, but also recover from it and consider what else you have going on. So here's your get out of jail free card. Here's your second chance. The leaderboard is open for submissions. Now, that also goes for you guys and gals who did do a score. If you want to maybe climb up a few points, it's open for everybody. The monthly winners have already been sent their ticket to the games or to the finals. All right. They are they're in, they're locked in. They've got the sponsorship thing. They or Rogue this is sponsored last month, so they've got that gift card. You're not eligible for any prizes. It's just now the leaderboard is back open. If we're going to open it up for people who didn't submit a score, we're also opening it up for everybody to include those who did. So it's open for all. And if you want to put up another score, if you want to give it a go again, you can. Also, for people who didn't register in time to get that score in, you can register and fully participate in the league. No penalty. We're not going to, honestly, that's just more work that I don't know how to do to like factor it in. And what are we doing? You know, like penalizing people, like a lot of people that just haven't heard of us. So we're trying to have a good time. We're trying to build this community, and we're doing a great job of it. And you all are doing an amazing job of it. So if you know somebody who you think would really have a good time doing this, who would enjoy it, who could value or benefit from it, get value from it, please send them along. Share this with them. Let them know, like, hey, don't miss out again. You've got 2 weeks to get an hour ruck and a heavy ruck in, and get your score in and full participation. So just wanted to address that. So the Monopoly get out of jail free card has been played. What else do we got? Finals is coming up. Yes. How to view the leaderboard or Atlas only on the leaderboard. It showed you guys that. Also, I want to talk about get out of jail free card. Obviously, good. All right, let's go into something about just some Atlas thoughts real quick. One of the things that we're showing and people are experiencing is an element of rucking as a sport. I want you to remember that. I keep saying it because I think we need to just hear things in repetition. The Ruck Race League is, we didn't invent rucking, obviously. We sure as shit didn't invent competition. There is no ruck-based competition, though, before us. That is what we have created. And that is in line with sport. To compete with oneself in the company of others, to win, to have a measurement to it all. It's all wonderful stuff. It's all cool stuff. So rucking as a sport. When we look at sport, we want to look at the elements and the components of rucking, of a sport. And yeah, we didn't invent the chicken. We invented just the chicken sandwich. I love it. If you're a soccer player, an element of the sport of soccer is running. You could be great with the ball, incredible skill, beautiful touch, vision, hitting the ball, striking, passing, receiving, chipping, all of that. If you suck at running, you will suck at soccer. To be deficient in a major element of, or an element, like think like periodic table of elements, to be deficient in one of those elements means that the entire thing kind of crumbles. And so with rucking as a sport, like we've talked about, the ability to maintain the burden of the load, specifically for rucking at the traps, the upper back, neck, even the hips, we have to address that. Anybody can walk with a light bag. Walking with a heavier bag and dealing with the discomfort. This t-shirt, if you guys have the league t-shirts, this is the pocket tee. This t-shirt super comfortable, fits like a super comfortable t-shirt. Yeah, that's not wearing a backpack with weight in it. And I saw this all the time actually in the military where, you know, you see people like, oh, when do I get my kit? Like, and it's like, do you think that's going to fit like a t-shirt? It's not. It's never going to be. It's not designed to. So part of rucking as a sport is the discomfort tolerance with the reality of what happens when you put heavy weight on your back in a bag. That's a key component of it. So that is also the physical feeling and sensation of being restrained and panic. And so not to go down the neuroscience way, um, or the affective neuroscience route, actually, is what it would be. Yak pan skip for any of you nerds out there like me. And so this is definitely not like therapy. This is definitely not a lesson in that. However, wired within our brain is a neurological pathway that is the panic pathway. It is what happens. Great example. And our brain's not so different than other animals' brains either. If you have a dog that you know is not going to bite your face off, go ahead, go up to the dog and just hold it. Apply pressure to it. Do 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 that to another human being. See what happens. That sensation of having someone bear down on you with weight and apply pressure gets received, processed, and interpreted in the brain as I'm not safe. I got to get the fuck out of here. That's the panic pathway. There's different there's a few different kind of affective pathways in the brain. This is exactly what we're actually training when it comes to that feeling, that sensation of like, oh my God, like I don't know what's wrong, but everything is. So it's not to say that we're like, oh, we're training the brain. Like there is a brain training component, but just know that like that is what's happening experientially and neurologically. So one of the cool things I think about actually training is look, if we voluntarily go into extremely uncomfortable, distressful, challenging situations, we build the capacity to approach them and go into them, not avoid them and check out, right? Because the more we avoid something, the greater control it has over us. It's not to say that just doing this all the time is the right approach either, obviously, but with appropriate dosing and with intention and agency, the effects of someone to be able to say, yeah, I can bear that and I know I can go into that, or at least, at that maybe like 0.6 mile marker of like, this is what's happening. I'm panicking. I can't, I have to get out of here. It's like, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Maybe, but maybe not. Okay. So on your next attempt with Atlas, just know, you can say maybe this is some mindset coaching or whatever it might be, but it's not just mindset because it's not your thoughts. It's the natural physiological, neurological response to what's happening when there's this pressure bearing down on you on specific points, namely up here. Think about it. If I were to come around and like grab you, you would immediately do that. You want to think about it. It's not a conceptual thought. It's a physiological, affectively driven response to your environment. When you're going around and it's that, that first lap, you're like, I should have gone heavier, maybe. That second lap, it's like, stuff's starting to come off, right? That third lap, if it's just like, I can't, I need to get out of here. I need to break free from this. And it's like, yeah, maybe it exceeds your capacity on that day and maybe not. So if that is coming up, just know it's not necessarily that you're weak. It has nothing to do with that. It's that this is a natural, physiological, biological response, neurological response that is from a sensory signal interpretation then being processed as I can't do this. I have to escape. Do your best to stay in it a little bit longer. Maybe you're right. Maybe it is, maybe that load is beyond your physical capacity for that day. That is probably not going to occur though up there. Unless your head is like dangerous in a really uncomfortable position and you kind of can't breathe and you're choking oxygen off like in blood. Yeah, probably not going to be, I can't do this anymore because of this pain or discomfort. Okay. Wink, wink. It's probably going to be more at the hips if you actually can't bear it. So, what's really cool about, I think, this is that we're experiencing that kind of stuff. All right. We're going into that. Okay. Sweet. Safe and challenging. People are doing things that they never even considered. I mean, boom, like mic drop. You guys are doing awesome. You're doing things. That's what kind of fires me up. People doing something new that they never considered they would even attempt. Why would I? Like you're literally creating a new world for yourself. That's badass. I don't know what it is about us that we are like subject matter experts on limiting ourselves before we even try. And I think that's one of the great flaws of um, that's one of the great flaws of the game, of the cards we're dealt. We're experts at saying I can't do that without any evidence to support that, or the evidence being shoddy at best. So keep up the great work. Really, really keep it up. Let's talk about finals. We have secured a site and a date for finals. And we are very, very excited about yeah, we're very excited about where we're going. So finals will be held in Atlanta, Georgia. And we're not giving the exact location out, but it will be in Atlanta, Georgia. We are hosting finals. Atlanta's hosting finals November 22nd. So November 22nd in Atlanta, Georgia, outside of Atlanta, not the downtown city. Ruck Race League finals. And we are pumped about it. The folks that we've been talking with down there are like great. They've been amazing. Southern hospitality, very warm, very welcoming. Man, we are like, I'm like holding back. Like I'm super excited here. So we're going to the RRL is going to the ATL, and we're going to have a damn good time doing it. That's not the only announcement though about finals. So, started off this show by saying we want to bring people together. We can't do that obviously all the time. We're showing how it's amazing, the community that's being built and people supporting each other and seeing each other and engaging. And the folks over in Scotland and the UK are doing Atlas like on a hilly terrain thing. It's like because that's where they live. Like, and that's what I love about it. The Royal Dockside crew. Let me bring them up. I want to see. Hold on. Give me a second. Give me a second. How the heck do I even do this? Okay. Hold on a second, folks. Where was the message? Because I was like, fuck yeah, I love this. Oh, come on now. I should have loaded this up beforehand. All right, give me 30 seconds here, and then if I can't find it in 30 seconds, we're out. Come on, hold on. Mm, 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 mm. Where are they at? Where are they at? I can't find the message. Either way. Okay, whatever. Anyway, point being, the virtual thing is awesome because there's people from all around the world doing it. And for example, if you live in a hilly area, yep, you're going to do the heavy atlas, maybe on some terrain that's not a track like most people are doing it. But we're bringing people together also. And that's the goal of finals, right? So we're bringing people together to say, look, in person, on an equal playing field, in the sense that this isn't anybody's home turf unless you're by happen chance down there. We're gonna have like a just a rucking based event, okay? And that's gonna be our like kind of champion. But we're going to also have a division for people who aren't in the top tier. So think about elite division is the CrossFit Games, to make that analogy, right? So there's the people who are crazy and are ridiculously fit and all of that, and they make it to the games, and it's like, yep, there's no doubt about it that y'all work out differently. Okay. And one of the cool things about going to the games, oh yeah, we're going to the games. I can talk about that too. One of the cool things about the games is, or about like CrossFit in that sense, is that hey, like I did a deadlift, you did a deadlift, you just happen to have 1,000 more pounds on the bar, but we still kind of did the same thing. You know, there's very few sports that you can actually do that, and rucking, we think, is what an awesome opportunity to say, look, you're the elite people who are doing amazing performances and who have really shown that like there's rucking, and then there's being like there's rucking as an activity, and there's rucking as like capital A athlete. And you know, for example, world record holders are in our ranks. Like it's a beautiful, it's an amazing thing. What we're doing with finals is having an open division, which is for people that want to do a rucking event, rucking only event. They want to challenge themselves. They want to connect with others in person. They want to do something that, like, here's the deal. We will not be telling you what you're going to be doing until it's like, and go. So there's a huge element of the unknown with finals, and we're preserving that to the end. We'll tell you where we're going. We'll tell you when we'll be there. But we're not going to say, okay, it's going to be, you know, this point to that point and back. No, no, no. It's going to be like, we'll brief you when we're there. And there's an element of like, you are intentionally going into the unknown with that. We don't feel like that is an experience that should be only reserved for, we'll say, the top 30 to 50 athletes. I would like to do an event like that. Now, I won't, obviously, because we're going to be running it, but like, that's pretty cool. That's pretty gnarly. People would want to do that, even if they have no desire to do it as maybe the elites are doing it, and just have a really cool experience. So we're going to have two divisions. We're going to have the elite division and we're going to have the open division. There's not really going to be many punches pulled from the elite to the open. It's not like it's like, oh, you're going to go with, you know, no weight and you're going to get an ice cream sundae every time you complete a lap. Right? It's not like this. It's nothing. It's just not going to be as intense, as long. Course is going to be the same. You're going to be on the same field. It would be like going to the games and being able to work out and do the same workouts on the same floor that the games athletes are doing it, using the same gear, the same bars, like all of that, except, you know, you'll provide your own. But it's the same thing. Like, that's pretty cool. We think so, at least. So it's also like literally having, let's just say you have the person who wins at finals. For a segment of the course, you could be like stride with them. Probably going at a maybe going at, depending upon when it is, where you can have a little chat. Hey, where are you coming from? Who are you? Pa pa pa. like community experience, good stuff, challenging ourselves. The elite people, not obviously, the elite people will be tested in a way that's appropriate to determine the winner. The open people can do something hard, can gather, can spend a weekend down there or whatever, and we're gonna have like vendors, some sponsors, and have like an experience as well. So kind of like a festival kind of situation. That's kind of what maybe is in our mind. Like, that'd be really cool if we had like a festival where people come down, they get after it. And that's where it's taken some time to be like, hey, where can we go hosting? That's easy to get to, relatively speaking. That has infrastructure in the surrounding area to support what could be. We don't know how many people are going to go. So we're really excited about it. We're really, really excited about it. November 22nd, Atlanta, 2 divisions, elite, open. Will those competitors be by invite? Oh, Leslie, great question. No, it'll be an open kind of enrollment. So there's no qualifying requirement for the open division. The elite division, yes, that's going to obviously be like the top 15 on men's and women's side, and maybe something else. So the elite division, the way in which people can qualify for that is to be either to win a monthly ruck race. So we've already got 2 slots for that. So that's 5 on the men, 5 on the women. Maybe it's the same person, maybe it's not. Who knows? We'll see how the season plays out. The top 15 at the end of the season. And then, so that'll be like 20. And then we have an idea and a concept for maybe some more spots. We don't know yet. We have to see kind of how things progress. But our goal is to probably have a field of about, I don't know, from 20 to 30 maybe on each side. So that's the elite division. The open division, you don't have to have any minimum requirement for right now. We are thinking about suggesting kind of like a suggested capability. But some of that's a little bit further down the line. And I don't think that it really necessitates having, okay, you have to cover it at least, 5K in chronos, 70 pounds in Atlas. Like, I don't think that goes in line with the intent. The intent is to have a really cool experience for people. And, who are we to say that just because this demonstrated capacity in these, segment of workouts. So the open division is going to be open to all. Open to all. So if you got any questions or other comments on them, drop them in. Sounds similar to High Rocks. Awesome. Yeah, I've never done a High Rocks. Kay's done one. She said it was a good time. Obviously aware of its like insanely popular situation. But yeah, doing stuff together. Yeah. Okay. What do we got? Age groups. Good question. No age groups. So we're not segregating people by age. We don't want to get an ageism lawsuit on our hands. Just kind of kidding, but it is kind of ironic. I'm gonna look at filtering the leaderboard and showing how you can do that. So I know that's something that's on me, and I'm just a little bit behind on that. If you notice, I haven't been posting as much on the social media either. My day job has been pretty hectic. But I'm going to hopefully fix that, or, get back to some more regular posting here. Yeah, not in the top tier yet. Yep. Cool. All right. So if you just tuned in, finals has been announced. It is, did you mention where it would be? Yep. Atlanta. Finals is November 22nd. That's a Saturday. in Atlanta, Georgia. We will release more specifics of where it'll be. It'll be in the Marietta area. So, but it's just outside of like downtown, just outside of Atlanta. Marietta is northwest, I believe, of kind of downtown. So fairly easy to get to. Yeah, I mean, it's easy to get to. There's infrastructure around there. It's the weekend before Thanksgiving because obviously we don't want to mess with Thanksgiving here in the States, at least. And then, giving enough prep time too for people. So we obviously know there's not going to be a set, or we don't know yet who's going to qualify. So we finish in the end of August. So September, October, November, giving people enough prep time, for when the season closes to when, finals is. That's a consideration. So there's been a bunch of things we've been thinking about, discussing, working through, problem solving, all of that. And some of it honestly comes from questions. So if you guys have questions, shoot us a message. This is like a very collaborative experience because it has to be. So definitely let us know if you've got questions. Would the open be for folks? What does it say? Would the open be for folks at least completed all 5 events of RRL? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. If you haven't completed all 5 events, that does not necessarily disqualify you. But RRL members will receive like a financial incentive and benefit. But we haven't fleshed the details out of that just yet. But if somebody hasn't joined and they want to, if somebody hasn't joined, they're not one of the, they're not like in our league and they want to sign up and do it, they can, but they're going to pay a premium. Whereas somebody who's in the RRL will not pay that premium. And if somebody is in the RRL and they have not completed all 5 events, that's okay too. Like, that's fine. They can still come and do that specific event. But again, we're trying to have people, experience the full season, which is why we had that get out of jail free card for the next couple weeks. Sorry. And so, we're doing as much as we can to facilitate involvement and engagement while also, recognizing there's some people that just won't hear about this until later on. One of the reasons actually that there's probably going to be, I'm predicting at least a decent amount of surge in interest is in August itself when we're at the CrossFit Games. So maybe I'll talk about that next week, but I'll talk about that next week. But we'll just kind of tease it right now and say, we are going to the CrossFit Games. That is not our finals. I know Dave, I think, said he was thinking that our finals were going to be at the games. That's our final event of the regular season. It is our final, ruck race for the season, but it's not our capital F finals, like not our games, so to speak. So we will be there. We will be doing our final event of the season at the CrossFit Games, which is really cool. We're excited about that. Yeah, really, really cool. We can. There's some things we can and can't say, obviously, about that right now. But it's going to be a great time. It's going to be, again, a community builder, challenging, having a good experience. Like the message stays the same, honestly, throughout the different delivery mechanisms. But it's really neat to be one of the, I think the Army, like the official Army and Mayhem are the only other people doing stuff. So it'll be it's a really cool experience, really cool opportunity. We're excited about it. A lot of things to kind of flush out there. Obviously, there's details that, it's not that I'm being coy. We just have not solidified yet. Like our final event. So our final ruck race 5, which is our last ruck race for the season, for the regular season, that is what we will be doing at the games, if that makes sense. So not our final event. No, not our final event. Our finals, like the Ruck Race League 2025 finals in Atlanta on November 22nd, that's our finals. The last event for the regular season, which August is the last month, we will be doing that ruck race at the CrossFit Games. Let me know if that is clear or more confusing. What do we got? Yeah, so what questions? If there's any other questions you have, drop them in there. Big shout out also this month to Kafaru. That they are sponsoring this month's ruck race, and it makes a lot of sense because Kafaru, if you're unfamiliar with them, they are a premium hunting and like outdoor backcountry brand. So they make some of the best gear pretty much available that can sustain heavy pack outs. I mean, these rucks, like you see, like a lot of them will be, this bag, by the way, looks pretty good. Like this, I'm slightly obsessed with this one. They make some amazing gear. So they've got this crazy sale going on too. Up to 50% off. They just make great stuff. A lot of them have frames. So you'll see like, yeah, I mean, these deals are pretty wild. So like the frame, right? You have this, like, you see the price of that? That's an investment. Like, absolutely. That's an investment. The thing is that it's made in America, which is awesome. And when you're literally relying on how hunters and outdoors people are relying on their gear to, like, 80 pounds as a pack out is maybe on the lighter side, or maybe like average side, I would say. 100 pounds, right? It's probably getting a little bit heavier. I've actually never been on a hunt like that, so I can't say. I can only say from, friends that are in the community and have had, successful harvests and whatnot. This is where your gear matters, right? So they have some really awesome gear. They have this sale going on, even like little pouches and stuff like that. So check out Kafaru if you guys are looking for some gear. The team over there is really amazing. They're just solid people. The other thing about this is, like, or at least their stuff is, the terrain is kind of a chuckle. Like, you're not going to be doing a 100-pound pack out with, after a successful harvest on like a track. You're not going to walk the road back necessarily. So their gear is like, people that are in that community, in that space, hunters, it's kind of funny. It's like, doing this on a track, that would be nice. But either way, so big shout out to Kafaru for sponsoring this month for Atlas. Makes sense. I think I said on the last time I was going to call it pack out. Actually, I was going to call it intensity first, but then it was like, maybe pack out. But Atlas kind of, I think, is a little bit more well-rounded. But they are hooking the winners up. I'll just say that. It's a yeah, they're being very generous. I forget the exact number. Of the prize for the winner, for the men's and women's winner, but it is a nice number. It is a big number. Okay, let's see what else we got. People are being at the games. Awesome. Cool. So if y'all have any other questions, definitely let me know. Send them to the comments. If you guys have people you know who missed signing up or missed submitting a score, share them, let them know. Deal them that get out of jail free card. The leaderboard is open until the end of the month. If you're taking on Atlas this weekend, have fun, challenge yourself, be safe, have a new experience, and mark your calendars for November 22nd. Put a pin in Atlanta, Georgia, and a little thread to wherever the hell in the world you live, and say, let's meet you there. 2 divisions. There's the elite division, which is going to be where the winner will be crowned. There's going to be an open division, which is just like people coming together, having a good time, and doing a rucking only event. We'll continue to talk a little bit more about that as we go, right? As the show kind of continues. But that's a lot, I think, for now. Appreciate your time, everybody. Have a wonderful, safe weekend. And I'll see you probably next week. Bye now.